Hello there, and welcome to your favourite league, the Master League. We're watching Company of Heroes 3. There it is. We're watching one of the best players in Company of Heroes 3. It's Elpern of Sweden. And he's up against somebody you may or may not have heard of. It's Nagano, the reigning world champion of the Company of Heroes series. He is the Deutsch Africa Core. This is Road to Tunis. I am AE, and I'm here today with Vulcan HD Gaming. Hello, Vulcan.
Hello everyone, I'm excited for this Brit-DAC matchup to get us started today. That's very cool. Get all the rifle sections out.
Yeah, absolutely. You need to get them out. Let's just do some audio tuning. Lower CoH3 a little bit so we can hear the awesome dorsal tones of the mighty Vulcan. You may not know this guy. He comes from the Steel Division and Warno communities, but he's a bit of a CoH fan as well. I happened to meet him in London at the press event, and it's just an honour to have you on board, Vulcan.
Yeah, it's nice to be here, and it's nice to be back casting again. Obviously, I've done some casting in Steel Division, and well versed there, but this is going to be the first time that I've actually casted in Company Heroes, so looking forward to it. I have been playing a lot, getting my practice in, making sure that I know what's what, so it should be fun.
Demare in chat, by the way, had to drop his mother off at the airport. He can't play in today's tournament, but he did just say that Nagano's copied his wire. Demare, please imbue the YouTube audience, the Twitch audience, with your comments on why that wire makes sense. Because I'd love to know. Meanwhile, infantry sections, of course, from Elpern are going to be the flavour of the day. He's already built 2 of them, but he did go for an extra Royal Engineer section as well. Everything's a section, allegedly. And that's going to be trying to capture the north. Let's see if we've got any choices for the commanders. Of course, we have Italian Combined Arms Battle Group. What else would you expect?
From the Brits, you mean? Or do you mean from DAC?
That was from DAC. I just briefly looked at the DAC commander. But what do you expect from the Brits? Is it still just Indian artillery every game? Have you seen anything else in Auto Match, Vulcan?
I think Indian artillery is best, but some people still play the armored to get the Churchills, because Churchills like auto win late game if you don't lose early game. I think they're really strong right now, especially with the nerf on the M13, so they can be great in this matchup.
The Churchills do everything the Matilda does, but a lot better, basically. It's a tankier tank than a very tanky tank, and you can't get more tankier than that.
Yeah, but we've seen the standard opener at least. We've got double engineering. I think it'd be 4 rifle squads. Probably see a couple of boys AT early on the Brits, and then see where we go from there. It opens up the match quite a lot for Brits after that.
Here's Demer's barbed wire. Oh, he was able to get through it! Just like the Germans got through the Maginot Line, or got round it rather. He went straight round that barbed wire. Unlucky Demer. Meanwhile, infantry section is going to go south and cut off the fuel and munitions. Nice manoeuvre from Elpern there. Here we go, the Kradschutz's going to do some work of its own, and the Bersaglieri have found the Royal Engineers with their pants down and forced them back to base.
Yeah, these Bersaglieri, they put a lot of pressure on the map early on, just due to their passive sprint. And so he can get a lot of map control early on, depending on the number of these he brings out. We usually see 1 or 2 at the start. And just depends on how the trades go and if you have the excess manpower to bring them in.
Yeah, exactly. They are a little bit pricier than one anticipates. So the overall kind of meta of the players here is Nagano, of course, has picked up CoH3 a couple of weeks late. He is a tournament player as like a semi-professional Company Heroes tournament player for the US dollar to ruble conversion. So he's gotten back into it, but Elpern has been hitting this game hard, Vulcan, just like this Kradschutz has been hit hard right now. Boys AT coming in clutch as usual.
Lovely stuff there. A little bit of a snipe onto the Kradschutz, and that's going to definitely relinquish some of that map control that we were just talking about. Those specifically are going to have to make up for that now. Not having the Kradschutz in is a real pain, and you're probably not going to rebuild it, so that's something that is nice to get rid of early on, and means that it's one more annoying unit that won't be capping your cutoffs. Yeah,
so powerful on Road to Tunis as well. It's one of those maps that's just so well suited to the little light vehicles running around the sides.
Oh, big engagement here. If he'd got aggressive there, I wouldn't have been surprised to see that engineer go down. No. And now he's going to be putting tons of pressure onto this rifle, which is a little bit out of position.
It is.
He can put 1 behind the cover, move 1 to the side. Oh, the rifle's coming in from the side, though.
Going to get to the light cover crater, then just, push straight in. The Bersaglieri's on. doing that well up close, it would seem. Meanwhile, in the north, we've got a smatter of fire as a Royal Engineer could go down. Elpern needs to spot that.
Yeah, sometimes in these sorts of intense engagements, the Bersiglieri getting very, very low there. He's going to chase it down. He might actually be able to finish it off. That would be a huge kill because it is one vet.
Yep. One more shot. Everybody survived. Everybody survived in both those engagements. So, yeah. I mean, one thing Nagano does have in his favour, by the way. Grenade. Nice.
That could have been big. Those grenades from the Bersiglieri, they have a lot of damage, but in a very small area. So you can dodge them quite easily, but if you don't notice in time, they can wipe entire squads. They are nasty.
The Italians did have a name for them. It's F that guy in particular. Because the damage is not spread. One guy gets turned into pate, and the rest don't do very well at all.
Do we have the medic out of Brits yet? Because that rifle squad getting away with 5 models, really low health, is really nice if you can heal it up.
Yeah, that's a really good call there. Corporal's just shooting at nothing. What's he doing? I'm a little teapot, short and stout. Here's my handle. Here's my spout. And there we go. He's finished.
It doesn't look like heals just yet, but the 8-rad already out. We've got 6 minutes 30. It's actually a little slow for the 8-rad, I think, but it will be on its way to try and do as much damage as possible. Just has to be a little bit wary of meeting 2 boys AT squads at the same time.
Yes.
Otherwise, he can tank them relatively well.
Yeah, the 8-rad is absolutely clutch for DAC players at the moment. And a point I was going to make about Nagano is, of course, CoH3 is a little bit more like CoH1 than CoH2 was. And he was also a tournament champion in CoH1 and CoH2. So if he can catch up with Elpern's head start in terms of, learning the game, Nagano should find himself in his element for how rough CoH3 is around the edges. 8-rad's first engagement here. Royal Engineers are going to have to stop building shortly.
That is risky for those Royal Engineers getting chased down. If he commits with the 8-rad, he might be able to finish them off. He needs to stay close to keep the damage high, but won't want to get flanked by the boys AT, especially the ones coming out of base, although those are very low. They didn't get their full heal from the base, so they could get cut down just as easy. He's got to be a little bit careful here. No, but that's just going to be enough to scare him off.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Nagano's putting decent pressure in the south. He neutralized the fuel. He had a flamethrower Panzer Pioneer ready to kick into action. No healing yet in base. He's just focusing on upgrading fire support elements, which is an interesting idea. Maybe he wants it for the Pak 38, or no, that's just the 2.5 medical truck. Okay, fair enough. I'm trying to understand the UI there from Elpern's perspective. It's not easy at times, but that makes more sense. There we go.
So with the Brit player right now, has he not picked a battle group still? I think he was waiting for 3 points to determine whether or not he wanted to go Indian infantry or into armored potentially.
Yeah, he's not picked anything. He has got 3 points and he's not picked anything, no.
He might just be saving them, and if he can get away with holding onto them long enough, he might just try and skip straight towards a Churchill if he feels like the game's going well. Otherwise, he can save it, and he can... if he starts trading badly, he can go into Indian, and then he'll be a lot better off in these trades.
Ooh, Demare says he knows what Elpern might be doing. Exciting. Vulcan, as mid-level CoH3 players, we just have to watch. We just have to watch and anticipate. But we do have a tournament player, Demare, out there who thinks he knows what might be happening. Skipping Crusader AA. Ah, yeah, Crusader AA call-in, he reckons, with armor. Okay, Demare, you spoilt it. You could have just been all cheeky there and coquette, and mysterious.
Pretty much what I was saying, in that he was holding his CP on purpose so that he can choose if he needs to go Indian, if he's getting bad trades early on, and otherwise he just goes straight into the Crusader, into Churchill. Yeah.
Fair enough. A lot of health damage there on the Bersiglieri, but they've got protection on that retreat path. Meanwhile, 8-rad's ready to tango once more. Let's quickly check out Nagano's advance. There we go. You've gone for the Breda Modelo 30s. Just showing you that, of course, the Caro M1340 has been nerfed a little bit, so, people are now targeting the Bersiglieri left side of the attacking there.
It's very rare, it was very, very rare that you would see the upgrade on the Bersiglieri early on, because their models are actually pretty expensive to bring back. A lovely nade there. Takes out 2 models, forces them off. Very nice indeed.
Nagano with such good pressure, but he's under pressure himself here. Panzer Pioneer needs to get back to base.
Oh, he gets wiped.
Oh.
He actually gets wiped, and the red is going to have to get some models back here. The Basiglieri are actually in a pretty weird spot right now. If those field engineers get on top of them, that could be really bad. But the grenade forces them off.
Oh, they're low health themselves. Nagano's done great map pressure, but he's lost the first 2 squads of this game. The Kradschutzen and now the Panzer Pioneer.
Yeah, it was pretty clutch wipe there on the Panzer Pioneer. That was a max range rifle shot in the back of the head.
I didn't expect it, but yeah, there you go. Right into the back of the head at the last possible moment. But here it is, the Stug 3D. Orange Pest was the first person to use it in tournaments back in ML1, and we all thought he wasn't taking things seriously. But now we know very differently. The Stug 3 is here to stay, and it's here to push your Brit squads away.
Yeah, that's a great counter to Brit Blobs, but a good player can pretty much put the AT guns on all the boys AT on the flanks. Like if you walk at it in a line and then make sure they're spread enough, the 2 on the sides will always get side shots. So you got to be super careful. But this is a really nice engagement here. The Basiglieri again very low.
The beggars are threatening a victory point.
I just don't think Nagano's got enough, well, any AT on the field really. He's going to get wiped out by this thing. What can counter it out there?
The 8-Rad can get behind it and do some damage, for sure, but it needs to be chipped by probably, I don't know, like maybe AT gun tech, but that seems really, really inefficient. He could also CP into, actually, I was going to say into the M13, but because obviously he went Basiglieri first, like that's going to be really rough.
That's really far off. He's struggling here. He could even do with the Pak 38 anything to offer some AT to this Crusader, because its anti-infantry fire is at such a high rate. The Stug does obviously accumulate death over time, but the Crusader means instant death unless you counter it, and I really feel for all the good Nagano's done, his build order hasn't been optimal this game.
Yeah, he needs to get a Marder out, actually. That would be the easiest solution to this Crusader early on. And then get the upgrades, and then you're ready for Churchills. If you can get Tungsten upgrade for your Marder, yeah, there we go. Yeah, there it is.
There we go. Marder's out. Has the Crusader done enough damage, or can Nagano hold the line? I mean, CoH3 is a pretty cool game, isn't it? This is what we wanted, guys. You're looking at it. This is in your mind's eye what you wanted CoH3 to look like and feel like.
Yeah, I actually do think the game looks pretty gorgeous right now.
Yeah.
Oh, Marder might get an easy shot in there. That actually took a lot less damage than I thought it would. I guess without the upgrades, the Marders don't do that much damage. Although he is shooting it down. He's got to keep it lined up as he's chasing. And that's going to be really, really awkward on the micro sometimes.
Yeah, could be.
The Huns have 300
Meanwhile,
points.
Basiglieri are pushing in. I tell you what, that passive sprint has been so useful on this map, Vulcan. I think you were right to point that out in the early part of this cast, because you can just see the amount of pressure Nagano's able to apply throughout the game with it.
Yeah, absolutely. The Crusader AA is a beast. Absolute beast, and these particularly just have nothing to do. Oh, and the mine damage as well.
Yep.
Oh, it's a shame that Crusader wasn't facing the right way, else he could have just chased that down, but then he would have ran straight into this Marder.
Marder not being helpful! Well. Not being helpful there, Vulcan. Blocking in the Basiglieri on the retreat path, and they incur way more damage than they needed to. Stug D, by the way, has only gotten 3 infantry kills so far. Meanwhile, the Crusader already has 7. So I think that's just showing you just how much better it is at its job, basically.
Yeah, big problem with the Stug is that it's quite actually easy to dodge its projectile, because it fires, like, the projectile speed is quite slow. So you see the boys there can just kind of sidestep somewhat. But this Stug actually under a lot of pressure by these boys AT is going to be very careful. If there is any sort of commitment here, he could lose a Stug. The Marder won't really be able to help with the boys on the field. But the 2 boys next to each other there is a little bit sketchy.
Yeah, he's trying to get the Veterancy 1. That's why he's being risky with it. Because at Veterancy 0, it's okay, but it's not, you know, a game-winning vehicle. But with Veterancy 1, it gets the Mega ability. I don't know the abilities' names in this game quite yet. The Mega ability. And it can really start to have some good effects on the battlefield.
Yeah, the lockdown. Is that what you mean?
I do.
Yeah, where it locks down and then it can fire much further than it normally would. Very, very useful.
Check out the Pro RTS caster in the chat. Oh, nice shot there from the Marder. Is this the second he's built? No,
The difficulty with the Marder is you need to have the Bisiglieri move forwards, but the Crusader AA chips the Bisiglieri so fast. And then, oh, is this Marder actually going to die while he's not looking? It is. It's going to go down.
Oh, shit.
That is a big loss there.
That's massive.
And the 3-star Boys AT rifle squad now.
Bloody hell. There we go. Yeah, 2 vehicles destroyed to their name at the moment. Meanwhile, 8rad's in trouble as well. The Crusader's got it in its sights.
That's a second Crusader AA coming off onto the field there. A second one this early on. Those Marders are really going to have a hard time now. This completely breaks the tempo for the DAC player, because the DAC player is going to want to have at least 2, if not 3 Marders by now, and losing the first one and then now being a second Crusader AA on the field is really, really bad. The cutoff into the middle on the top side was... Oh, this is just
There
ruthless.
you go. He's thrown in the towel. He's tapped out. There was nothing he could do. Elpern strategically countered him and showed that Nagano's going to have to start writing down his build orders and making them optimal, because he can't afford to go up against somebody of Elpern's class without having an optimal build order.
Yeah, good game to these guys, but Elpern certainly well ahead in strategy in this one.
And there we go. Some good commentary from Vulcan there, I think, proving his worth to all of you grizzled, veteran, brutal Company Heroes fans. And yeah, we've got Game 2 coming shortly. Let's see if we've had the replay file yet. We have. It is a bigger game this time. It's gone on for longer. So let's see if it's a 2-0 for Elpern, or we're going to have a deciding ace game shortly. Let's load that bad boy up.
Elpern, very, very good performance in that first game. Really good timing on the Crusader AAs. Nice save on the CP so that he wasn't sure what to expect. Because the thing is, you can either go into Crusader AAs. If you trade badly, you just go into infantry with Gurkhas. And then Gurkhas are really strong right now.
They really are. The God's Footsmen aren't bad either. The British have a lot of good elite infantry options, depending on the map, of course. But yeah, the Gurkhas aren't bad.
The trouble with going guards is that it forces you to side tech Stuarts.
Yes, yeah.
Which can be suboptimal. Although it would actually be pretty good against DAC right now, because M13s aren't as valued. Like, M13s are generally really bad to go up against the Stuarts, but because they cost more now, people don't use them.
And we've got such a long journey of balancing ahead of us for Company Heroes 3. And the reason is, with the cheesy strategies that have been so dominant thus far, yes, they can nerf them, but there'll be 1,000 layers of cheese under that we just uncover the next layer. Because the game is not optimized for competitive play at the moment. It means basically all of the attributes are very min-max, very exponentially out at the moment. The fine balancing tuning takes probably, for a game as complex as this, you're looking at 2 years, really. So, yeah, we're going to have wave after wave of bone-crushing meta with very precise timings, Vulcan. And if you don't know the timings, you can get screwed quite easily.
100%. This is why I spend so much time watching all of the CoH3 top players on Twitch at the moment, because they teach you these things just by watching them.
Yeah,
you learn, you pick up these new metas pretty quickly.
absolutely. Yeah, I think the series is aged like a fine wine, pluralitas, but CoH3 is very much a virgin crush of grapes right now. We've got to let it ferment and bubble up nicely. And it's difficult to tell gamers to be patient, Vulcan, because they've all just paid $60, so I can very much understand. Yeah. I can understand.
And then there was a store added in 1.1.
Oh,
do we mention that?
No. Oh. If the store was half that price and the skins were historically authentic and covered your whole army, there wouldn't have been a problem.
But don't worry, you can do challenges and you can earn yourself 43 cents of currency
If you worked
in
it
a
out.
month or in a week. I think it's a week. A week worth of challenges is about 43 cents.
You know, this was meant to be like an oasis of positivity. This is meant to be.
Do you not see me smiling? I mean, I'm enjoying it, man.
I just don't get why people are so like, oh, I'm uninstalling the game, I'm leaving. A developer puts a DLC store in a game? What's going on? People got so like, have gone, rightfully so, to be annoyed about it, but to have like, the vitriol of like a very hardcore minority of people is so intense over.
You don't have to buy the currency, by the way, guys. It's not. They're not forcing you.
Yeah, but there is a best value currency, Vulcan. For $50, you can get like 10% more currency. So, I think that's a pretty sweet deal. I really do. You can have winter camos on 1/3 of your army with wood on their backs, like a big satchel full of wood. Who doesn't want a big satchel full of wood on all of your soldiers? I mean, that's good stuff. That's really good stuff.
Only cost you like 2 hours of hard work.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Good value.
Right, okay, so that oasis of tranquility has been destroyed already. But welcome to Indigo Owl, Operation Indigo Owl, the second tournament for Master League's first season. The one we'll all look back on YouTube in 8 years' time when A's got kids and Vulcan's got baby Vulcans running around. We'll look back in 8 years' time on this tournament series. Be like, bloody hell, do you remember how bad CoH3 used to be?
I mean, it happened with CoH2 as well, right? I mean, the reason that I didn't play CoH2 that much is because of how bad the release was for CoH2. So, I mean, I think in general, CoH3, especially multiplayer, really hasn't been that bad.
No.
In a sense that we got 4 factions on release, so the multiplayer has been a lot more interesting at the start.
Section CP right there. Make it snappy.
Don't worry, the Twitch can't see anything yet. Just getting things ready for the good old cast. Keep Elpern on the left.
Got some solid copium, apparently. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's all about the copium.
Copium.
I literally started trying to get into a more positive mindset in the build-up to this tournament. And I spent like Friday for an hour, I was just arguing with people about, actually, it's not that bad, guys, come on. I was like, oh, trying to hook myself up.
I still very much believe that it is not that bad. The issue is the presentation, right? I think the game is very good, but the presentation was not good. And I feel like they can do a little bit better with their communication. And they said about making their priorities known. And I think after the 1.1 patch, that's very important.
We've got we need a proper, what's it called? One of those diagrams, the trees. The roadmaps, that's it. We need a roadmap. It needs to be detailed. And they need to be brave with it. That's all I want to see. Some braveness, some promising of certain things within the first year. Anyway, got second game lined up, lads. We've, after destroying the Oasis of Tranquility, it's now time to try and find an Oasis of Destruction en road to Tunis. Let's go some fun.
Yeah, I can still see it.
Here we are.
Hello there, and welcome to Game 2. You're looking at Elpern now as the Deutsch Africa Corps. That's right, isn't it? That's right, isn't it? What? No, he's Wehrmacht! Wow, there you go. There's a surprise for you. It's Wehrmacht in the desert. They don't know how they got here. You'd expect the Africa Corps to be in the desert, but oh no, it is indeed the kind of the more Italian theatre Wehrmacht all of a sudden. And that is a surprise, Vulcan. Any ideas what he may be planning for us?
Well, he's obviously not going Luftwaffe because he would have done it already. So we're not seeing breakthrough, right? So there's only one more choice. He's got the logs.
He's got the logs. Oh, look at this. He's got that Arctic tundra wrapping. He's got his neck covered against frostbite. They're all carrying, in by the way, 40 degrees Celsius weather, big bundles of sticks on their backs. And this makes perfect sense. This is the game I came to see, and I'm enjoying it.
You know what they really need to do with these skins is make it so that if they've got logs on their back, their sandbags are not sandbags, they're log walls.
Oh, yes, that'd be amazing. Also, on retreat, they get a received accuracy bonus, because if you shoot their backs, it's not going to hurt them. It's
oh
applique
yeah, you got to
armor.
add some pay to win in there.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
Why haven't they thought about that? We should do some consultancy. We could have gotten way more revenue out of this situation, definitely. Meanwhile, it's Nagano in the northwest this time. He's going the Brits. Maybe he's going to copy Elpern's build, try and learn off the guy. We'll see. He's 1-0 down in this best-of-3 quarter-final. He does not want to go down to Challenger tier on his very first tournament series of the season.
What's interesting about Wehrmacht right now is I feel like the standard build, if you're not going breakthrough, would just be like Jaeger spam, pretty much. But you need to play off the Grens early on. So we'll really have to pay attention to the early trading with the Grens. And if he can do okay with that, then he can transition into Jaegers pretty well, and then fast Panzer IVs. And that's pretty much the win in normal queue right now, if you don't rely on breakthrough.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, converting the Grenadiers into either Panzergrens or indeed Jaegers. Jaegers have been basically carrying the Wehrmacht army on their backs, other than that Luftwaffe spam we had for a while. The Jaeger squads have been clutch in both 1v1 and team games, basically. So yeah, possibly we'll see a bit of that. But to be honest, I just don't know what to expect, because Elpern is somebody that actually plays a crap ton of CoH3 Vulcan. He actually scrims, he streams it, he practices it. So there's a very high likelihood he knows things that we don't know about this game, and he may have a build order up his sleeve here.
We might see a 2-2-1 come out, honestly. But it really depends on the timing, because, oh, actually, we got early sniper. That's going to be pretty rough for the British team, because Brits can't counter snipers very well at all. So that sniper could be really clutch. He might actually go double sniper.
That's a strong possibility. Elpern, one of the vocal CoH2 kind of players back in the day, wasn't a big sniper fan. But in tournaments, you cannot beat snipers, Vulcan, some of the time. Especially if you don't have a counter sniper of your own. So here we go. He's all gillied up in his...
People memeing about the 2-2-1 in chat. It can be pretty strong against field engineers, and it can countercap, so it's nothing to be scoffed at, but it has no damage.
Yeah, it's a utility vehicle almost.
The sniper here, though, needs to come in clutch. He needs to get a lot of value out of this sniper.
Well, here we go, first value. You can't quite get it. You're going to have to walk forwards around here, then shoot. These guys keep getting outside his range.
Yeah, it's the biggest problem with the Wehrmacht sniper. It takes ages to aim compared to the American
I think around
sniper.
2.5 seconds, yeah, versus 1.5 or something like that. Jibber will be in chat and he will correct us if I'm wrong, but something like that. It's a large degree margin, longer aim to fire, so yeah.
It does reload faster, I think, though. So you can get more consistent shots out of it, but it's just, you can't one-pop a unit and run away as easy. But this is the one nice thing actually about Grens is you can build sandbags with them. So you will probably see sandbags get built on almost every point where a Gren is walking throughout this match.
Easiest way to think about Grenadiers, if you're new to CoH3, is they are basically Ostruppen from CoH2. They are early war Germans, when there is a lot of Germans to be used as cannon fodder, basically. They're not the hard, grizzled Eastern Front Germans after Stalingrad, as we saw in CoH2.
Yeah. The other thing is, for new players, make sure you build your sandbag walls long enough so that you can fit the entire Gren squad behind it. It's very important for trading with Grens.
Oh, this could be important. This could be some big trading soon. The sniper's trying to backpedal. He's hard retreating now. There's two... Ah, we've got an upgraded recce section as well. That's a lot of damage. Can they get those shots off? We've had a grenade in. He's gone past the grenade. This could be big. More DPS to come. Okay, safe.
I'm really surprised that sniper is not dead right now. Like, how did those rifles do so badly there? That was nuts. And now the rifle's trading really badly into the Grens, and the Gren's going to get away on, like, no health with all models again. We've seen that twice out of Elpern now. He's managing his HP massively. It's like he almost has a choice in it.
Yep. We've also got a grenade on these infantry sections' retreat path, possibly. Especially if he soft retreats, he's going to hit that, and it's going to hit hard. Sniper's out.
Sniper.
Yeah.
Oh, there's potentials for wipes here. He's got to be really, really careful. Oh, and that mine. That was close.
Oh, squad down.
Yeah.
Jaeger's coming in clutch just like we suspected. Elpern already with a decisive lead in this game too.
Yes, we'll probably see a second Jaeger, and he'll probably get Shreks early because he's going to have to deal with a Humber that I think's just popped out of the Brit player.
Oh, this could be a very important vehicle.
I actually really like that camo on the Jaegers there.
Yeah, it does look pretty cool, to be honest.
But those are taking a lot of damage from this Humber, and they are walking in the wrong direction right now.
They are. They're going to have to run past it again. That's bad from Elpern. Maybe he's distracted, falling in his own falchion, Jaegers.
Oh, so he did end up going Luftwaffe in the end. Interesting.
Alright, the Jaegers have smoked out the Humber. They're going to be fine, I believe. Meanwhile, in the north, Royal Engineers might not be fine. That's Falchion, Jaeger, Gevers 42, shredding them up.
Yeah, those are going to get mown down here pretty well. Oh, and they do get taken out in the end. That is a really rough loss there. Was that the flamer upgrade on them as well?
Yeah, it looks like it. I can't see it on any other squad. So we can quickly check out his perspective if you like. No, that one's fine, it seems.
Okay, oh, that's not so bad. If it didn't have the upgrade, then it's alright. But it's still obviously not ideal. This Humber is putting in a lot of work right now because he doesn't have Shreks on his Jaegers yet. And the Jaegers spent so much time trying to take the cutoff that he didn't get them back. But this could be another kill here.
Yeah, this could be a kill into Nagano's win column. He needs this. Alpine has the retreat damage hacks enabled. Ah, but he couldn't last long enough, and the Humber picks up a vital wipe for Nagano there. Do we have a comeback on the table?
Yeah, it's nice that he got one back, Pioneer for Pioneer. I would say that the wipe on the Brit Pioneer is better, because I think the Wehrmacht Pioneers are really, really cheap, but the Sniper now going to be coming in clutch once again. If he can get into line of sight, he's going to be targeting the squad in the middle.
Yes, they're low health as well.
Getting very low.
Okay, should be fine. Meanwhile, this Grenadier in the garrisonable
Is he going to let it go down?
He nearly did. He's trying to bait out the infantry section, but that was fine margins. Meanwhile, Falchion Jaegers get on the retreat path themselves. But now the Humber's going to come in against them. This is just mayhem.
Jaegers picked up their Panzerschreck. This Humber's got to be really careful. It only takes 2 shots, but the first shot missed. Oh, that's not something you see too often. Those Panzerschrecks are generally quite reliable.
We've just had another infantry section out. So Nagano's army is now 4 infantry sections with the Royal Engineers, and then he's going for...
Our strategic point is being overrun.
Why am I...
The enemy have taken
Why is it showing that in his... Okay, he's building some German units. Fair enough. Okay.
The secret Brit strat of building Jaegers.
These are spies! They're spies! Oh my god. Hidden gameplay mechanics. Amazing.
There we go. The Sniper just got quite a lot of value. Just about gets his Vet 1 now as well, which is pretty nice.
Yep, that's the pinning shots. That's very tasty.
I think the pinning shot for 35 munitions is not so great. It can be useful in certain situations. I'm surprised to see so many of these have the rifle upgrade, the Leonfield upgrade for the rifle sections. That's pretty nuts.
Yep. Well, it's a good sniper counter if he can flank it. I think that's possibly why he's doing. Don't forget, it gives him better vision as well, so he can stay outside the sniper's vision if it's a 1v1 possibly, and, you know, self-spot for himself.
The difficulty is if the Wehrmacht player transitions into like a 8-rad themselves, then that could be pretty bad.
Yeah, it could be. North here, right, Humber's now up to 7 infantry kills, and the Fallschirmjägers are getting eaten up. Nagano's trying to apply pressure on the flanks because he wants to keep away from that bloody sniper in the centre.
Yep. Those Fallschirmjägers actually do need to be careful in that situation because they can be chased down pretty easily, but the Jaegers coming in here should be able to deal okay with that rifle squad on the bottom side, and the Panzerschreck just running around in circles trying to capture the Humber, but now the Humber actually going to be coming in to cut off the ferocious maker. This is big.
This is big. That was excellent driving by Nagano. He got a great kill there, but the mine could still hit him. Meanwhile, he's been fausted through the side. Sniper's going to be spotting as well. This Humber's as good as dead. He's marooned in the desert.
He might be able to get away. This Jaeger squad coming up from the bottom side with the Shrek, though. No, never mind. It's definitely dead.
Let's
now.
make this a cinematic. Goodbye,
Just see
Humber.
the beautiful Jaeger camo with the Panzerschreck. Boom. Love it.
Yeah, it's a good camo, actually. I'm quite liking that one. Meanwhile, Sniper's just showing himself on the retreat paths there. Trying to do a 180 on them, possibly.
Well, it's just disgusting. Sniper into Brits. You just don't have to care with your sniper. Like, this sniper's more likely to walk on a mine than be killed by the Brit player.
Yeah, exactly. It's such a difficult map to get a big recce section flank off. You know, to do that, you need a lot of sight blockers, and this map just doesn't have that, really. Other than the big Arabic building. Is it what we call it? I originally called it a mosque, but that's incredibly insensitive of me because it probably isn't that. What's like
a house?
Yeah, big house. I wanted a cool word for it. I wanted a cool word for it, though. Oh well. But other than that, there's not that many sight blockers, and we've got the compound buildings around the sides as well. We've got the walls here can be used to jump out. But if the sniper's in the central location, Vulcan, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, it's a really easy map to use a sniper on. This is. Also, we saw that the Grenadiers getting a lot of value out of their healing, and they have a free heal ability, which is really gross. So when we saw this squad earlier get away, like with all its models, it just gets a free heal. It can be so much value if you time it right. But now we have the Jaeger engagement here. Is that going to be just strafing run? Or
Yeah,
oh, that's Jaeger's coming in, sorry.
Ah, he thought it was a strafe, as did I. Nagano there, of course, showing that he hasn't played as much CoH3 as a lot of people have, but he is the reigning world champion. It's a strange position to be in, Vulcan.
That was like very, very interesting play. But yeah, he's basically Elpern's what he's done is he's gone for the Luftwaffe just so that he gets the value from the manpower due to that ability, and then has gone triple Jaeger, yeah, as we suspected.
Yeah, triple Jaeger. Meanwhile, Nagano over here with the Indian artillery battle group. Just check out this engagement in the north as the Crusader makes its presence felt. It's already getting the 6-pounder upgrade. Yeah, with regards to... Oh, there we go. He's picked up the number 2 flamethrower the Grenadier has, making himself an urban assault Grenadier. And there's a mine there. He triggers it. It hurts the Grenadier on retreat. Crusader's going to make easy pickings of it, but it does run into a Panzerschreck of the Jaeger squad, and he's going to have to retreat away.
A little bit of friendly fire there. That almost went very, very badly for those Grenadiers, but it looks like the Brit player has stabilized with the Crusader. The trouble is losing the Humber, like, that kind of stung, because without the Humber and the Crusader, you kind of don't have as much firepower as you'd want to overpower maybe one of the Jaeger squads.
Well, what it is the Humber takes up the famous position of the M8 from Company Heroes 1 or the T-70 from Company Heroes 2. It's great in the early to mid, it's a frontline weapon, but then it becomes your flank protector the longer the game goes, and it just soaks up map pressure from your opponents in the late game. And right now, Nagano's going to lack that Humber. He won't be able to keep the sides, and as you can already see on the map, Alpine is just dominating overall.
Yeah, and this sniper's still getting so much value onto these squads throughout, and the map control has been really, really good. I think the trades with the Grens did go to plan in the early game with the sniper support, worked out really well, and it looks like Elpern is going to maintain this control for the time being until more armor comes out of the Brit player.
Absolutely, and as we've just seen, the sniper has 19 kills, which is an absolute crap ton. If you see here, that's 21 per infantry section. So somebody in chat times 21 by 19 for me. Just go away and do it. Should be quite a lot, let's say. Quite a lot of manpower.
Yeah, that's 401.
Wow.
Is that right?
There you go. That's more than a squad wipe. That's an elite squad wipe. Vulcan clearly did very well on GCSE maths.
No, I think I completely messed that up. To be honest. But anyway, this Crusader needs to be really, really careful. It's putting itself in a very precarious position.
Oh, it is.
The Panzerfaust, double Panzerschreck in the side armor is going to take it out. Beautiful stuff there by Elpern. Nice trap.
Yeah, it was really nice. The Faust into Shrek combo. There was a mine waiting as well. Basically, that Crusader did not have a very good time. Meanwhile, Shrek just obliterated a poor Englishman there. More damage being done. Nagano's really suffering out there. And I'm sure Elpern's got a nasty surprise coming soon for him.
Oh, these Jaegers, man, when they get their veterancy higher, they can be like really accurate with these Shreks, and they just get free kills onto like individual models. It's gross.
Yeah, absolutely. What are you CoH3 fans in chat? Well, CoH3 did originally have AoE damage for anti-tank projectiles in the early days, but throughout the last half of that game's life cycle, it had none. It was basically either AT or AI. Come Here as one, of course, always had a little bit of AoE for AT weaponry. How are you liking CoH3? The fact that AT can actually kill infantrymen. Do you like it or don't you? I wanna have a bit of a straw poll there in chat.
We see the first Panzer IV out from Alpine. It's later than I would have expected, but it's now going to be absolutely ruthless because there is no Crusader to challenge it, and we're probably not going to be seeing another one anytime soon.
Oh, I tell you what, it's just a matter of time, isn't it? We do have another Crusader. It's getting its 6-pounder again, but he's up against a Panzer IV now. But not just a Panzer IV Vulcan, it's 3 Panzerschreck squads as well, and a Panzerfaust Grenadier too.
It's the exactly same problem as the last game, where he loses tempo, and then like at this point you need the 2 Crusaders versus the 1 Panzer IV. Or like 1v1, it just doesn't really work as well because the Panzer IV can just dig in and just sit there and tank shots all day long. Unless...
Crusader, however, has gotten around the back of the Panzer IV. Got some good shots in, a rear hit this time. Crusader's going on a crusade against this Panzer, but here comes the Panzerschreck and there's no infantry support for Nagano's lone tank.
Yeah, he's finally dug it in. And it's going to allow the Panzerschreck to take it out. That's all he needs to do. Just press that one button that makes the Panzer IV like almost invulnerable.
That's AECO skill in chat. If you want to use a brand new emote to represent exactly what we just saw there, that was a button-based piece of skill from the mighty Elpern going through to the semi-finals already. GG, well played. Yeah, we're cutting back to us. There we go. That was a good little series, that. What do you make of it, Vulcan? What did Nagano do wrong? What did Elpern do right?
I think Nagano just hasn't played enough. He didn't really see the Crusader AA coming. You can definitely prep for that with an early Marder. And the thing is with an early Marder against Brits is it's just useful regardless for dealing with like Humber if it comes out. Even if the enemy player doesn't go into Crusader AA, you still have the Marder to deal with Humbers, with Crusaders. Like it's just an all-round good pick regardless. So yeah, like not doing that early on is a bit rough, especially considering like Basiglietti can't hold their own against armor because they don't have any AT. And then second game it was more just a tempo thing. I think it just came down to Elpern outplaying, honestly. As simple as that. Just Grens into Jaegers is such like a standard strat. It's all just about playing it well. Like you just got to play it well, and not trade too poorly. Simple as that. So, I think he did all right with the Wehrmacht there, and I think we'll probably see that more. Honestly, Wehrmacht double Gren into the thing is, you go double Gren with double Pioneers so that you have MP40 superiority at close range, and then you have the Jaegers, which are just really, really, really good value now. They're like the only unit that makes Wehrmacht worth playing, other than the Panzer IV. But that Panzer IV did take the nerf.
I've got some really good
Wehrmacht.
No, yeah. I unfortunately can't multitask, but I like the sound of your analysis there, Vulcan. And I know you know what you're on about, so I'm just going to agree. Because if I don't agree, I probably sound pretty stupid myself.
Just nod.
I've got players joining the league system really late who don't like the format, probably because they don't understand it. No offense to them, but let's face it, they possibly don't. Got some really long game times out there, particularly between Ymira and Broughton Wolf, and also a very spicy series between Orange Pest and Barton. So, OMG Pop versus Vindicare X as well. Two really old, very cool players have played a series today with some really interesting game lengths. I see the game length because I see the replay file size, basically. So I can figure it out. And, yeah, you got some really good games out there. Hopefully do some casting tomorrow as well. But, yeah, let's see where we're at with our brackets. Let's have a little look, shall we? You can see that Elpern's progressed now. I've spoilt the Orange Pest Barton series, but Orange Pest did go through in some very tough games. Nagano's dropped down. He's going to face the winner of Momo for Show and Captain Link. Meanwhile, Barton versus the winner of Xviddy and Happy Cat could be very spicy indeed. It's 2 series today, guys, and then we'll have a big best of 5 next Saturday in this persistent league system, where they try and improve their rankings, all leading up to the finals at the end of the season, which will be for a substantial amount more money to get their position better. Look at the golden tiers. Good point. Good point. We should do that. That's a very good point.
Hey, Noob Nath got through. Nice one.
Yeah, well played, Noob Nath. And well played to Stern Panther in chat for doing all the hard admin work. Also, Sidewinder did a bit today as well, thanks to him. Yeah, well played to Noob Nath. Alpern trained him quite a bit, so well done to Elpern for taking him under your wing. Noob Nath will be up against the loser of Markov Hulk Smash. So that'll be a big test for him, to be honest. Let's see how he does. That'll be a big test for him. Meanwhile, Armless Guy Gaming, we're not had any 2-1s yet. Everything's been 2-0 at this point, and we've yet to have an upset victory. Oh no, we have. Sorry, Noob Nath was the upset victory. My bad. There's an early candidate for underdog of the tournament. So far.
Yeah, Noob Nath's been pretty great guy in the community, honestly. I'm a supporter.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. I like Noob Nath. He makes me jealous though, because I don't think he has a full-time job, so he can just play Company Heroes all the time. And I just wish that was me. Sometimes at work, I look at the Twitch stream list and I see his stream, and I'm like, to be able to keep playing just like that and get better. But he's not Noob Nath anymore. He's like intermediate to high level Nath. It's not doesn't sound
quite
as
have,
good.
Yeah. Intermediate Nath.
Intermediate Nath.
Oh gosh. So what series do we have coming up next then?
Coming up next, I want to keep casting the top bracket, and then I usually I'll after hours cast the rest of it. So we could try and get Inca, Una, and Feragi look like they're having a very spicy series, and also Gibbet and Theodosios. So we could just go watch Inca, Una, Feragi, and then we'll watch the winner of that versus Elpern. That could be nice.
Yep, sure. Absolutely. I'm up for.
Definitely. I'll try and see if I can catch them before they post their replays. That might be a good idea, actually.
Nath's on board with changing his name. No longer can you be called a noob.
Intermediate Nath. We now crown you Intermediate Nath. Rise!
Such a dumb name.
Oh, God.
I mean, I say that I'm called Vulcan HD Gaming like it's 2007.
It does sound like you should have a very nasal voice when you say your username. Hi, I'm Vulcan HD Gaming.
Oh well, I did back in the day.
Oh,
Go back
God.
to my original videos, and I definitely sound like that.
Oh, really? I can't say I didn't, to be honest.
Yeah. Nicko is not a big fan of my channel. Doesn't watch enough of my content. It's nice because I can say whatever I want, and he's not listening because he's too busy concentrating on other stuff.
Sorry.
Anything in chat that we'd like to say against Nicko while he's not listening?
I am listening. I definitely am when you say my name.
When are we getting Vulcan 4K gaming? I wish you were the first person to say that. I'm actually only Vulcan 2K gaming right now. Not quite 4K. Not good enough. Favorite example of Teenage Voice is Legend of Total War. Wait, what? Like, you mean his original videos? Got another bit of Legend. 240p gaming. Yeah, we got to go backwards. Now, originally, I was supposed to be called Vulcan Gaming, but because it was taken, I had to put the HD in the name, and then it's been there ever since. Some Vulcan lore for you guys who may not be so familiar with me.
Right, so it's got Inca next. I'll try and get the Ferocious Inca series, and then we'll watch the winners. So we'll stay at that top half for the top bracket.
Vulcan 720p gaming. Well, that was when it was HD. 720p was when like HD was acceptable because some people didn't have HD on their channel, right? It was 480p. It was like back in the day, right? Back in the
Vulcan
day,
720p gaming. I love it.
back in the day, like having HD on your name meant you have 720p videos because 720p was the best quality.
Amazing.
Like that's how old my channel is.
Is it that old? When did you start yours, sorry?
About 11 years ago now.
Oh, similar actually, yeah. But I think when did you go pro though? When did you actually start doing it professionally?
I officially started paying tax 4 years, like 3-4 years ago. That's when I made it my job.
Oh, okay, nice, nice.
That's when a hobby became a job.
You know what? I'm so glad I didn't make my hobby of Company Heroes a job because Company Heroes 3 has had a very interesting start, let's say. Could you imagine the stress I'd put myself under if I tried to make it my job in time for CoH3? Imagine how... I'd probably have gone completely grey by this point, I'd imagine.
Yes, it's not the simplest job in the world. There's a lot of stress involved. You should put it if you I'll be going through my channel. If you put it from old. Oh come on, dude! As if that's the video you made.
No, I just want to showcase your channel, bro. What's the problem? This is prime content. Tempted for getting started. Age of the Origins. This is good stuff. What's the problem here? Whoa, it's a mobile game. Don't you guys have mobiles? What's the problem? This is good. This is good. So what was the deal with this game then? So this is something you're into at the time, or look at some of the characters. Look at that.
I mean, come on. How do you not want Spider-Woman biddies? Like, let's be honest.
If this was a skin in CoH3, I'd buy it. That's all I'm saying.
True. They're missing a trick. We need some bikini babe grins.
Oh my god, don't give them ideas. Mind you, I don't think they'd go for that. I think there's been a cultural change over the last 10 years, but mobile gaming's definitely not caught up with those ideals, let's say. Yeah, this is Vulcan's channel. Go check it out. It's some very interesting stuff.
Lately you can just watch me lose in the Steel Division League. It's great.
Where's that?
Literally the last 2 videos, high stakes, man with a plan. Both
High
of them I
stakes,
lose.
he's 5-0 down. He's trying to win one game.
And I was actually only 2-0 down at the start of this video.
Oh, okay. But this is how many CoH3 fans would like to see CoH3. They want this level of zoom out. They can't stand the zoom in. Oh, you want it as well, do you?
I would definitely like it if they zoomed out a little bit more, for sure.
Yeah, a little bit maybe. Maybe not this much.
Yeah, that would be a bit extreme. That'd be like the whole map.
Right, guys, we're going to try and catch Ferocious in Kauna. It's a series that's going to be a really long one because they're still playing it right now. So, yeah, we've got that coming up soon. Very excited. We've got a really good series between Momo and Captain Link that's just been posted as well. So, yeah, some fantastic games out there. I really want some casters to come and help out with some of these replays. Maybe you can do some on your channel, Vulcan. Give you access on this Discord channel. You can see them all. And
yeah, possibly.
set you up with the tools. Tools, there you go. From Jan. Alright, guys, we're going to go on 5 minutes now. And then we're going to come back with the next series. So, see you in 5 minutes, dudes. Bye-bye.